Miss Powell, I forgot my pencil in room 19, Miss Powell. Can I go get it? Miss Powell, my backpack's in PE, Miss Powell. Can I go get it? Miss Powell, I'm not going to be here tomorrow, and my mom said to come and get my homework now. Miss Powell, I have to pee! Oh, 8 years, enlightening 8 years. I purposely left my research job to teach middle school. There were plenty of signs that this job was going to require some superhuman strength. That this job was no ordinary job. This job was going to call for some real superpowers. I was walking the campus with great anticipation. Room 23, room 24, room 25, visions of bulletin boards, textbooks stacked in a row, newly sharpened number 2 pencils, and microscopes all lined up. And maybe even a sign on the dry erase board that said, "We're glad you're here." I opened the door with bullfighting enthusiasm to find an empty room. I stood there, summoning all my superpowers, when I looked around and I thought, no textbooks, no desks, no chairs, no clock, no trash cans, cabinets sitting in the middle of the room, wrapped in plastic wrap. The phone not hooked to the wall. I couldn't call the office. This was no ordinary job. This was a job for Wonder Woman. And it's a darn good thing that I have a lasso of truth, because I'm getting down to the bottom of this mess. Just as I had thoughts of sitting down, a custodian came in with a wooden desk on a dolly, perched sideways, circa 1963. One of the legs was dangling off, and he said to me, I was in the warehouse and saw this and thought you could use it. I looked at the dangling leg and he said to me, "Oh, don't worry about that, just give it a good whack." I was entranced by the psychedelic coffee stains on the top of the desk, and I sat down, giving thanks for my superpowers to manifest furniture, when one of my colleagues came in and said, "Oh, wow, you got Mr. Bell's desk?" We found him in the fetal position under it. Poor guy, they had to haul him off in an ambulance. They blamed it on the black mold issue this building has. Has, I thought. Has? They just renovated it, I said. "Oh, you can never get rid of all of that stuff," he said. "Well, have a good day." And he left. I stood there, not knowing what to do. The first day of school, 156 students were mine, the entire 7th grade. You know what that means? Names. Lots and lots of culturally diverse names. Going down my roster, first period, Sarah, Thomas, Michael, there you are. Well, I thought to myself, this isn't so bad. I'm Wonder Woman after all. And then, ping. Whew. I held back a little giggle at his really cool, fun name. Next up, Pong. My mind swirling. Connects the two names. Ping pong! Oh no, I just said that out loud. I broke the cardinal rule. Don't comment on the children's names. I had to wait 56 agonizing minutes until the end of class when I could approach Ping and Pong, twin brothers in the front row. And I said, "I am so sorry." And they said to me, "It's okay, Miss Powell. We know your heart was in it." Teaching science to students who primarily spoke a second language was interesting. They were the real heroes, I decided. They rallied for me. They came every day to school, sometimes unfed, sometimes not prepared, sometimes teeth unbrushed, and We rallied together to make science class just that, a grand experiment. Mitosis unit, cell division, how things grow. Sixth period of the day, I say to my students innocently, does anybody notice anything different about themselves from 6th grade to 7th grade? Silence. Wheels turning, mind spinning. Bing! A little girl shoots up out of her seat and she says, I have boobs! My principal walks past in that moment. I'm doubled over, gasping for air. We're all uncontrollably laughing. And he says to me, Miss Powell, whatever you're doing, keep on doing it. And I did just that for 8 years. Those students taught me more about life and love and compassion and patience than 100 years of meditating could have taught me. During a really rough time in my life, when I was broken and exhausted and trying to keep it all together, coming to school every day, offering my great labs, and speeding along, setting up the lab, knocked over 8 trays of newly sharpened colored pencils. They went whirling across the room. A little boy who had never spoken yet in class, hair always over his eyes, quietly stood up and started picking the pencils up one by one. And he said to me, Miss Powell, you don't have to do it all by yourself. I burst into tears. Life lessons were abundant during my 8 years of teaching. They knocked down every wall I had around my heart. With my intention of saving them, we ended up saving each other in the end. One day I realized it was time to summon my invisible jet and take my magic elsewhere, and I have every intention of doing just that.